Hello everybody, it is me and my tea. And as you will see before me, 2,413 pages and 3 weeks of reading time. This has been my reading material for the past couple of weeks. And as you can see, there are quite a variety of books. And you might be wondering why. Well, in OwlCrate boxes, you will get a leaflet, and in it will have the spoiler for the next months. Now, I noticed for this month, the Masters of Disguise, that it had Harry Potter as one of them, so I was really excited. But then I noticed that the rest of the books I didn't really know about. So I decided to take it upon myself to make a reading list out of the suggested books, because when you get a really cool product that has a quote on it, I think it's more fun to know what book it came from. So, including the book from the month before, I have lifted weights with all these books. So I'm going to give a quick review of each, and I have them broken down into two sets. We have books that end on cliffhangers, like Grace and Fury does, that, well, you have to wait for the next one in the series. And then you have series like Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, where I call them stop and goes, where you can read it and the end doesn't quite end in a cliffhanger, but you can be satisfied with either ending it there or continuing on to the next book. So first off, last month's book, Grace and Fury. Now, it takes place in a world where women are kind of looked down upon, not quite as equals, and the one sister wants to be Grace, someone who stands by the example of the perfect, mild-mannered woman, and her younger sister who wants to be more. She wants to break the mold and do some things that women have been banned to do. Now, because of that, her sister actually takes the blame for her and ends up being sent to prison, while the other sister ends up taking the job of the Grace, which she never wanted in the first place. It is a fantastic book. It ends on a cliffhanger, which is driving me nuts, because since this is a new book, I won't get to be able to read the sequel for a while. So, there's Grace and Fury. Up next, Harry Potter. If you've not read Harry Potter, shame on you. But basically, this is book 2. This is Harry Potter in the Chamber of Secrets, and I thought it fit in well with the Masters of Disguise because it has Gilderoy Lockhart in it, and if you've read the Chamber of Secrets, you know he's not what he seems, and he hides it very well, so he's a very good actor in that standpoint. And besides saying that Harry Potter is a fantastic series, I won't waste any more time of your viewing to that. Up next, we have A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab, and it is the story of Kel, who is a magician who can go across the parallel universes and go to the different Londons. There's Grey London, which is set in the time period of King George III, Red London, which is where he is from, which is full of magic, White London, which is full of murder and coups and toppling of thrones, and it's kind of a dying world where the magic, instead of being used, is feeding off of the people themselves, and it is colorless. The other person in it is Delia Bard, who is actually a thief, and the way they meet is quite funny because she actually picks his pocket and then proceeds to save his life. And it is a very good book. It has a cliffhanger, but it is resolved at the end, and even though it's actually a trilogy and there is a sequel, you can be satisfied with just finishing off this book and saying that you finished it if you don't want to continue. But I'm definitely going to get the next book because it is really good, and I want to see how it ends. Next we have the Diabolic, which is pretty cool because it is actually set in outer space, and has lots of different planet travel, and it has a really good way of describing the different planets and spaceships. Now, a Diabolic is someone who is meant to take care of one person and one person only, and we follow a Diabolic by the name of Nemesis, whose job is to protect the governor, I think it's the governor's daughter. And when there is a plot to hurt her, the governor's wife sends Nemesis the Diabolic in her place, which is quite interesting because she almost has a personality like Sherlock Holmes, not very empathetic, almost, well, she is inhuman. But through it, she starts to become more and more human. There's some very interesting scenes where she's all in a panic because she laughs, and it is very unusual for her to laugh. And she thought that something was wrong with her. Now, this has some sad moments in it, quite a few loops of plot, but it is a very interesting book. It kind of opened my eyes to a different style of writing. I've been used to, like, Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy or the Lunar Chronicles for my outer space book, but this has been a very cool read and has opened my eyes to that series. Now, these next two books, The Kiss of Deception and The Six of Crows, are what I call cliffhangers, because they end on major cliffhangers. The Kiss of Deception follows a princess who decides to run away before her arranged marriage and decides she wants to have a normal life. And as she's having her normal life as a barmaid, she meets two men. One is the prince that she left at the altar, who definitely wants a word with her, and the other is an assassin from a neighboring country that wants to take out the threat of a rogue royal. This book has a few scenes that made me cry and really broke my heart. It ends on a cliffhanger of her going into a very interesting situation, and it also follows her story of trying to figure out if she has the special gift that made it so important that she follows up on this arranged marriage. I think I'm going to get the next book because, like I said, it ends on a cliffhanger, and I really enjoyed the writing style of this. This book is about 400 pages, and I ended up reading it in 2 days, and I also like the inside cover art because it's a map of the countries, and it's really neat to read. It's quite good, and it also has kind of 3 viewpoints, one from her point of view, the prince's point of view, and the assassin's point of view. And then last week we have The Six of Crows, and if anyone's familiar with the Grisha series, this follows after the Grisha War, and I actually had heard about this book, and I didn't realize that it was kind of a sequel after that trilogy. And it follows 6 thugs and thieves. The leader is Kaz, and they are hired to make a very epic heist, almost like Ocean's 11. And we have a convict with a thirst for revenge, a sharpshooter who can't walk away from a wager, a runaway with a privileged past, a spy known as the Wraith, a heartrender using her magic to survive in the slums, and a thief with a gift for unlikely escapes. They are the only ones who might stand between the world and destruction, and if they don't kill each other first. So it's quite an interesting story. This one ends on a big cliffhanger, and so I got the Crooked Kingdom, which is the next one to this, and I'm about halfway through that one, and I can't wait for the third and final part of this series. But basically there's this very dangerous drug which has come into existence, and their job is to find and rescue the scientists who created it so that it can't be mass produced. And it's really cool because there is an illustration for the place that they are breaking into, which I really enjoy when books do that. And it's really neat showing how the characters grow through that book, and learn to, if not try to not strangle each other, try to get along with each other. Whew, that's been a lot of talking. Well, I hope you've enjoyed my new series, my OwlCrate reading list, and hopefully next month I will be able to do another one as well after I get my box for this month's theme, the Masters of Disguise. Oh, and did I mention that in A Darker Shade of Magic, I really loved it because there actually is a masquerade ball in it. I mean, the description of that whole set of chapters is fantastic. I love that writing, so that I give that one 2 thumbs up. Well, thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you will enjoy the next video that is right here. And if you really enjoy me yammering on, click here to subscribe. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and I will see you next time in my unboxing of my OwlCrate for this month. Masters of Disguises. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all later. Bye!